Hey there guys, and welcome to Train Simulator. Today we're playing the Portsmouth Direct Line, the newer version, so we'll all go out into London Waterloo. I'm driving a scenario I made when the route first came out a few years ago, from Woking to Waterloo, a stopping service. So good afternoon driver, you're scheduled to take a class 455 of the Woking to London Waterloo stopping service. Pick up passengers here at Woking first, then proceed with your journey stopping at all required stations. So we'll open the doors, which is quiet. I've got some issues with sound in Train Simulator at the moment, so not all of the sounds seem to be working properly. I know I have issues with the in-cab sounds on this train as well, but hopefully it will be fine. We'll just go outside again and turn the headlights on. And now we wait for the doors to close. Look out the cab. I can't see the doors, so there's not a lot of point doing this, but I imagine they've closed, judging by the sound. Take the brakes off and forward. Ah yes, I knew there was an issue with this train. It's quite how quickly the throttle handle moves. It does just notch up from 1 to 3. Stopping it at 2 is quite difficult. Which the train, being a suburban stopping train, does accelerate very quickly. I have to be careful not to speed over this junction. So I made this scenario in 2018 based off of the actual timetable then. So it should have all of the trains in at roughly the right times, give or take Train Simulator being broken on occasion. Hence the train that just passed us heading south. And I can accelerate. We'll accelerate up to 40, although I think we should be able to get up higher than that once we've crossed that junction. Only driving a 4-car train today, so it's not a long train. I'm trying to remember all the controls. It's a while since I played Train Simulator. Just zoom out. There we go. 4 cars. I think normally this would be an 8-car, but every scenario has you driving an 8-car 455. I wanted a bit of variety. In fact, there's a chance it would be a 10-car, even. So this really gives a bit of variety. Over there on the other side is our counterpart, heading back south towards Woking, where it will terminate. We slowly approach our next stop of, well, I say slowly, we're going pretty quickly, it's just taking a bit of time to get there. Our next stop of West Byfleet. It's a bit stuttery. That's always been the case. My computer just can't really run this route perfectly, no matter what I do, so I just have to put up with it. I'm probably recording it in the background, it's not going to be helping. So I apologise if there is any lag, but there's only so much I can do about it. I've got to try and remember where to start braking with this train. It's a while since I've driven a 455. If I remember correctly, I think it's got a reasonably short braking distance. It slows down very quickly. So I think we'll go with 0.4 miles. Should be more than enough. Probably worth stopping accelerating at least. Maybe I have to go into full service actually. Weren't braking quite as quickly as I anticipated. Back down to 2. That'll be fine. We've got more than enough time. If I could take the brakes off entirely, it'd still be okay. Come on, into notch 1. There we go. We've got more than enough time to stop at the station. Ideally we need to find the 4-car marker, which is not going to be the easiest to spot. Looks like it's actually quite early on along the platform, so we'll just apply the brakes a bit more. There it is. Wow, that is a lot further this end than I thought it was. I thought it was up with the 5, 6 and 8s, but no, it's right here. Oh, I've accidentally put the emergency brake on. Standard. And open the doors. Now I saw some smoke over here. What's going on? Why is there smoke? Oh, it's just this chimney. It's just one chimney smoking. Fair enough. And West Byfleet. We'll wait for the doors, and then we will depart again, heading further north. This is quite an old train, I think. It was included with the route, but the train itself has been around for a few years longer as a separate DLC. And off we go again. Heading towards our next stop of Byfleet and New Hall. Are we to time? I have no idea. No, we're not. We're like 30 seconds late. Well, we should be able to regain that. I thought I'd stopped pretty quickly at West Byfleet. I didn't like drag out the braking curve. Oh no, now we're on time. We've got 6 seconds early at Byfleet and New Hall prediction. Should be able to manage that. There goes another train the other way. 12 car. Wonder where that's headed. I could find out where it's headed by if I press 9 and center myself. It is headed to Portsmouth and Southsea. Apparently. So there you go. I'm going to have to start slowing down again soon. Because I am a suburban stopper, there are some very frequent station stops as we head up towards London. So on the one hand, speed isn't really a thing, but on the other hand, the train does only do 75 anyway, so even if we didn't have to stop at a station, we wouldn't be going as fast as some other trains along here. And the lag as it loads in the area. Under the M25 and approach the platform. I'll put the brakes on a bit. Although I think we stop at the other end of this platform. Or at least in the middle. Let's use driver zoom vision. Patented. And see if we can spot the stop marker. There's an 8. I guess it's probably going to be with the 8. Yeah, it is. 4-8. And slow to a halt. There we go, we're only sort of 8 seconds late. That's not too bad. How should we actually do with the stopping? Oh, we stopped perfectly. That's good. That's something. But that's, is that Wimbledon? Could be Wimbledon. Not 100% actually. Could be Surbiton. It's more likely that it's Surbiton. I mean, we'll be stopping at both stations later, so we'll see them then. Off we go again. I just put it straight into notch 4 because you can't accelerate too quickly in this train. And we have a tight schedule to maintain. Whenever we accelerate and we're starting up from a station, it's predicting us being late at the next one. And then it jumps down to being early. So our next stop of Weybridge. Turning off, if we were to turn off to the left here, we'd be heading towards Chertsey, Virginia Water, and coming into Waterloo from the Windsor lines. But we are not, we are carrying on straight up the main line. The gap between Byfleet and New Hall and Weybridge isn't too long, it's just the length of the triangle junction. You'll see into entering Weybridge there's the other end of the triangle junction off into a bay platform. There's another train going south. I think we should have a train going north passing us soon, if I remember correctly. Might happen. There's a train in the bay platform at Weybridge by the looks of it, waiting to go around the round to Virginia Water, around the Hounslow Loop. Maybe some of our passengers will want to get onto it. Who knows? I slowed down a little early there, if I'm honest. So we do stop right at the other end of the platform, I believe. Well, not quite right at the end, but almost at the end. Yeah, there's the train passing us. We'll just stop here. It's going to be easier than slowly crawling down to the 4-car marker. There we go. We won't see many trains overtake us because even if we are on the slow lines, obviously we're still moving at a reasonable speed up towards London. But there might be one or two more. I should hope. So this scenario doesn't have too much of variety in the trains included in it as AI. I think I've gone for just the trains that are included with the route, so the 455, the 450 and the 444. I do have, this is the first in a series of scenarios I made. I think some of the later ones do include more variety of the AI. I know I've got the 159 that I can use for services out to Exeter, and I've got the 442, which, while has now been removed from service again for a period, was in use on the Portsmouth Direct Line, so I can use that for a bit more variety. And I also have as freeware the 707 that's being used for suburban services until it gets removed from service and replaced in a couple of months. I think I've used all of those in some scenarios. So later scenarios that I get to in this will have a lot more variety going on. But we're heading up towards Walton-on-Thames now. I wonder if I can get a good camera angle from the platform. Brake externally as the train comes in. Problem is, it's going to take me a little bit of time to fly up there. It's just around the corner if I remember correctly. Yes, there it is. Here we go. Just in here. If I sit next to the 4-car marker, then I can sort of vaguely stop it in the right place. Here we go. I'm going to have to drive off the HUD for a bit now until I can see it. But that should be fine. I'll just ease off on the throttle. We are running early now, so that's good. Could you not be in the way of my remote driving? Random passenger walking along the platform. It's not helpful. Oh, I'm not going to stop in time. I kind of forgot I needed to brake. This is going to be cutting it fine. We might manage it. Sure, yeah, we'll be fine. Could even slow down the braking. Be more than fine. So just enter the platform. Here we go. Slowing down. Past 20. 10. Release the brakes to let it roll along a bit. 12. And brakes back on. No, I wanted notch 2, not full service. It's really unresponsive, that lever. Notch 1. Stopped it a little early, but that's fine. Given I wasn't actually expecting to stop in time, that's rather impressive, all things considered. Do you know we stopped that far along, actually? Arguably, we could stop a coach length further back. But fair enough. So I think we are running a bit early now. Our next Next scheduled... I don't know, that's not the button I wanted. I wanted that one. That's so long since I've played, I've forgotten all the controls. Next scheduled stop, Hersham, Esher, Surbiton, Wimbledon. So we do skip a couple of stops. We don't do anything between Surbiton and Wimbledon, so that's Berrylands, New Malden and Rains Park. We skip. Hellsfield, Clapham Junction, Vauxhall, Waterloo. We'll just wait. The doors will close soon. There we go. And accelerate off again when the brakes release. Lean out the window. Why not? We're back along the platform. So yes, it is a reasonably old train, so the cab interior is not brilliant. I can open the window though. Might get some different audio from that. I can pull the blind down. Don't really need to. It's not like the sun's in my eyes. But I can't do a lot else in here. There might be a cab light I can turn on. I can use the instrument lights. There's a train over there. I can use the instrument lights. I can use the DRA. I never use the DRA. I've got hazard lights I can use. That's impressive. Most trains you cannot use the hazard lights. Turn the instrument lights on. Yeah, I don't think I have a cab light actually. I've got the windscreen wipers. Not all trains have a cab light. Oh, I've got to stop at Hersham soon. Let's not forget to stop at the next station, because I'm too busy playing around with the controls on the train. Apply 1 notch of braking, that should be more than enough. I think provided you're doing 30 into the platform, you can reasonably expect to stop by the end of it, unless the platform is excessively short. But most platforms, provided you're doing 30 when they start, and you can reasonably stop by the end of it without needing full braking. Just put it into full service so that we can stop at the 4-car marker. There we go. See, open the doors. You can watch people get on. Or, you know, get off by magically appearing. I think he got off and then got on again. Or are they just spawning at the they're spawning at the station entrance, aren't they? And then just getting on the train instantly. Well, that's fair enough. Oh, I'm being overtaken again. Where's that come from, do you reckon? There's a train up from Exeter following me. It's come from Hazelmere. That's where it's come from. And there's another train to Woking going past me. Suburban services on Southwestern are every half an hour. So there was the train I saw at the start replacing me in Woking. It's going to be that half hour behind me. That train over on the other platform at Hersham now is going to be an hour behind me coming back out of Woking. Already that signal's gone yellow, so that suggests to me there's another train trailing the one that just passed me. Because otherwise it would just default to red, I believe. If I understand train sim signals. They default to red unless there's a train actually needing them a couple of signals away, I think. So just coming around the corner into Esher now. You don't really see it because of all the trees on the embankment, but we are now in the built-up suburbs. If I went into view 7, you can see there's... Well, actually, it's not as built up as I thought it was. There are some buildings there. The trees do make a good job of hiding it. I guess the other way round is also true. It deafens or dampens, I guess, the noise from the railway for the people living in the houses. I've eased off the throttle knowing I'm going to need to brake, but I eased off a bit early really. Especially as I'm now running late. Only 30 seconds late, but still. I'll leave the braking a little later then to try and regain some time. Luckily, pretty much until we get to Surbiton, it's only the half-hourly Waterloo to Woking service on the suburban line, or the stopping line, so I'm not really chasing anything. Like, the train in front of me is half an hour ahead until I get to Surbiton. And then we suddenly join up with everything from Hampton Court and from Guildford via Cobham. So we're up to 6 trains an hour rather than 2. 3 half-hourly services. I'm going to stop in the complete wrong place because I can't even see the 4-car marker. Is it down there? Yes, it is. Oh well. The game's lagging a bit too much. I'm just going to stop because I'm late. And this was like a reasonable place to stop, what with the footbridge and everything. I think there's a train coming up behind me, but I guess we'll see in a minute when it actually gets here. No, I wanted to zoom in, not turn around. It's a bit of a wiggle there, isn't it? Of an S-bend in the track. It's all fine. Off we go. Release the brakes. Wait for the brakes to actually release. This train does have interlocking on it, so the brakes won't release until the doors are fully shut. Which means accelerating at the station takes a bit of time. But off we go. Oh, this signal's red, so there wasn't a train chasing that one. Who knows? There's another train going the other way. Nice 10-car 444. Could be going anywhere. Possibly Weymouth, possibly Portsmouth. Somewhere else on the way to one of those destinations. Won't be going any further west. Everything west of Weymouth is diesel operated. Between Basingstoke and Exeter, Basingstoke and Bristol, it's all non-electrified. Very long. Oh, the speed limit changes. That's a rarity on this line. The speed limit suddenly drops to 85 and then 80. It's not like I can do more than 75, so it doesn't actually affect me, but it does cause for something different for once. As we get the junction with the other branches. So there's, coming on there is Guildford and Cobham, then over the bridge, and joining now is Hampton Court. Then we have a short 5-track section entering Surbiton, because the 2 suburban lines don't join together. There's a separated suburban line out of Surbiton platform 4 along to the Hampton Court junction. Now the bend. The game is starting to struggle more. I think it's because as we get closer to London, more trains are spawning in as AI, and obviously there's more scenery as well. So it's to be expected. My computer has managed to run a full line scenario on this route, London all the way down to Portsmouth, but only if I do it either first service of the morning or last service of the night. Any other time of day, when there's more AI around, I have to split it in the middle. Split it into 2 scenarios. More southbound trains. The line is very busy, although this many 12 cars is unusual. I slowed down a bit earlier there, really, in the end. Yeah, it was definitely Surbiton, that picture. There's probably another poster of it in here. Surbitonception. I'm not going to stop in time, and I've accidentally applied emergency brakes. Well, I am going to stop in time. I'm going to stop by the end of the platform. I'm not going to stop by the 4-car mark that I've already passed. but that's fine. I'm not getting points for stopping at the markers like I would on some other scenarios. There we go. Turn around. Let's go see if I can find that poster I'm talking about. There's a poster for the treble, which is definitely not copyright. Oh, there's a train going the other way. Where do you reckon this train's going? If I look at the front, I'll be able to see. Guildford Fire Cobham. Also made a full car for some reason. I played a bit fast and loose with the consist lengths in my scenarios, just to give a bit of variety. A lot of them are wrong, because in reality, a lot of trains are just all the same length. Like the vast majority of South Western services are 8 cars. All the Suburbans are 8 or 10. The vast majority of the longer distance are 8. And the vast majority of Southern services are 8. But to add a bit of variety, I've got all sorts of different lengths going on. Hello, you wanting to board my train? Because I'm here early. I got here 50 seconds early. No wonder I'm having to wait a while. Well, we should be off soon. There we go. Take the brakes off. Put it in full forward. And off we go. They've got a bit of a fast run now up to Wimbledon. I think, in fact, the game might even put us over onto the fast line, which is, strictly speaking, wrong, but we'll roll with it. Is that a train coming up next to me? No, it's just me. So, this video is technically being recorded as a 100 subscriber special. Train sim videos take a while to record, and therefore I'm not just going to record them on a regular basis, because they're quite lengthy. So, thanks to everyone who's subscribed and for all your support with my channel, and especially thanks for those who leave comments regularly. The comments on Nimby Rails especially have been very helpful lately, learning how the signalling works, because it's not immediately obvious in the game how you're meant to do anything. Oh, AWS, I'm getting warning signals, being warned down. Maybe for a diversion route? Diverging route, if I am switching over onto the fast line, although normally they'd be flashing for that. So am I just being pulled down to a red? Should probably start braking if I'm going to have to stop. Yeah? Yeah, the AWS alarm on this train takes a bit of time to kick in. Like the light lights up, but the alarm takes another couple of seconds, and if you've only got 3 seconds to clear it, by the time it actually goes off, you don't exactly have long to clear it left. That is a red signal. That is a red signal I need to stop at. Why have I got a red? I guess I am switching over onto the fast line here then, and then I've got to wait for a train to go past me first. I'm going to have to start the emergency if I want to stop in time. Hopefully this won't make me late. I'm only predicted to be 30 seconds late, and that ETA is working off the basis of I will have to wait here for a train to pass. So, I'm just going to slowly roll towards the signal at 2 miles an hour. There we go. There's the train. Full cart. Let's just have a look quickly. It claims to be an Exeter to Waterloo. That would be a 159. I either didn't have the consist or I didn't want to add another requirement to the scenario for the workshop when I made this scenario. So I didn't include it and just made it a 450. So yes, this scenario and the others in the series that I've made are all on the workshop. I will link them in the description if you wish to play them. eventually I will probably end up going through the entire series of them. There we go. Now I've got access onto the fast line. Yes, eventually I will probably end up going through the entire series and playing all of them, but it will take a while. They definitely won't be coming out regularly. There'll be one-off videos, as this one is. And speaking of which, the newbie rails that this is replacing will be coming out. It's just as I'm updating the map to 1.2, I've needed a bit more time to get everything ready, so haven't been able to record as regularly, so this works as a method of pushing the release back a little bit so I get a bit of extra time to prepare the map. And I was kind of wanting to record a train sim video, even though I can't do them regularly. So there's that too. Okay, give me an excuse. Here we go, now we're on the fast line. And now we're chasing that train, but realistically it's going to be going faster than we are, so it's not a major issue. I'm still going to get AWS alerts though, as I'm chasing a double yellow at the moment. But it'll be fine. I'm only going past, I mean that was New Malden, I'm only going past Rains Park before I switch back over onto the slow line for Wimbledon. Realistically I probably should have stayed on the slow lines, but that's train sim for you. As we pull a slow right turn, there's a gradual right turn to pull round to Wimbledon. The game thinks, oh, the inside line will be faster, because it's a shorter distance. Doesn't consider the fact that I have to go over some very slow crossovers and wait for a train. Now I'm chasing greens. Almost. I might still get AWS hit for this one, but the next one I think I'll be okay. Well, the signals are pretty frequent to look here because the service is pretty frequent, so I didn't have to wait too long to switch over onto this line after I was passed. There you go, green. Yeah, it does bug me that the slow line is empty with greens, and that's what I should be, but oh well. I guess it allows a train to pull on from either New Malden, which we passed, or Rains Park here, if they want to. There's a train coming off either of those branches. I'm still getting the AWS hits, yeah, okay. So the speed has gone down to 75, I didn't realise it was so low in this part of London. Train going back south. And there we go, you can see on the HUD the fortune 30 as I slow down to cross back over to the slow line at Wimbledon. Sorry, to slow down until just before that though, because I'm only going down from 70 to 40, then 40 to 30. I don't need to worry about the station because it means I'll be doing 30 entering the station, so I'll easily be able to stop. I'm expecting an AWS. There we go. Okay, let's have a look at slowing down a bit. Just a tad, as I am doing 70, so that distance is going to go past quite quickly. I need to shave off 30 miles an hour of speed by before that building that I go under. The points are before the building. That's a reasonable amount of speed to be shaving off. Here we go. Full service quickly, just to drop down the last 7. I'm not going to do it in time. Oh, I lost 2 points. Could have been worse. I need to drop off another 5. I forgot that I had a 30 to go down to. Lost more points from that. I forgot it dropped down to 30 straight after the 40 to head into the station. Oh well. It's not the end of the world. I didn't lose too many points. I think I was lenient enough with points that I'll still be able to get 1,000 from it, so should be okay. As the other AI train I include in some of my later scenarios, but clearly not this one, is I have the freeware district line, so I can include the D-stock over on the underground platforms next to me. And I also have the tram to include... Wait, I've just spun myself around 360 without realising it. I have the tram to include over here, but again, doesn't appear like I've put it in this time. Comes a train going the other way. Where are you going? Woking. They seem to be going to Woking. Every time I look, it's going to Woking. And we actually ended up getting here a bit early by the looks of it. Only sort of 8 seconds early. Well, 12 seconds early, but a little bit early all the same. And given our schedule, 12 seconds early when we had to stop and wait for a train to pass us. It's reasonably impressive. London to Brighton on an incredibly old train. Off we go again. It's quite nice weather in this scenario. Matches the current weather outside. I'm going to try and cut it out in post, but you might be able to hear my fan. That's because it's quite hot at the moment, and I can't turn it off for an hour to record. It's unfortunately the way it has to be. Oh, I'm speeding. I didn't realise we were still doing 30. Oh, that's another 25 points gone. It's not ideal. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the full 1,000. Oh well. I've already completed the scenario perfectly once when I was testing it originally, so I don't need to do well this time. Go up to 40 now. As we head up towards the flyover. This is an interesting one to route trains over, as there are crossovers from the, as we're on now, the up slow to the up fast, then onto the down fast, and then back onto the up slow again, the other side of the flyover. And the game itself tries to just route you across those instead of over the flyover. So making it actually route trains across the flyover is an interesting task. But there we go. We're over, and now I had to accelerate rapidly up the ramp. Now as we come down the other side, down at 1:39, I've got to hold the brakes on to keep myself below 40. Still chasing yellows. This is now, I'm just heading into London. It's getting busier, more suburban services. I think we're now up to sort of 12 an hour, if not more. I'll just think it through. We've got 4, 8... 8 plus 6, 14 trains an hour. So yes, it is quite busy now. So we've got the 2 to Dorking and the 2 to Guildford via Epsom. Came on at Rains Park. 2 round the loop via Kingston, and 2 to Shepperton. Came on at New Malden. 2 to Hampton Court and 2 to Guildford via Cobham. Came on at Surbiton. And then there's the 2 from Woking that I'm part of. Let's stop at the station, hey? Might be a good idea. If the game is really starting to lag now as it tries to load in Clapham Junction. Should level out again in a minute. There we go. And all of the trains coming along the stopping lines here stop at Earlsfield, Clapham Junction and Vauxhall on their way into Waterloo. I've got to miss the 4-car marker, but it was so laggy that there was no way I was going to actually stop in time for it. There we go. What does surprise me is that 14 trains an hour and I've not seen one going the other way yet. There's another one on the fast line, heading north. And there's one coming heading south as well. What I do remember is that the routing into Waterloo is not perfect in Train Simulator. So over the entire scenario, all of the suburban trains I've sent up to Waterloo as AI have slowly sort of grouped together and got into a queue trying to enter the station, which we will then have to try and get through. So I adjusted the end time of the scenario to compensate for that, and in reality, congestion entering Waterloo is not unusual. But it does mean we'll be chasing reds as we head along in, which will be interesting. But we've got a couple more stops until we get there. such as here at Earlsfield, where I appear to have ended up being here an impressive 45 seconds early by the looks of it. I don't think I've ever been actually late at any of the stops yet. Clapham Junction next, 13:42. Take the brakes off and apply the throttle. I'm surprised though I've not seen a Suburban southbound since, well, at Wimbledon. So at 14 an hour they should be every sort of 4 minutes or so, I think. Yeah, every 4 minutes or so. And then because I'm heading in the other direction at a roughly equal speed, it should actually be I should see one every 2 minutes. And it's definitely been 2 minutes since I left Wimbledon. Although maybe I missed one on the flyover, in which case it's probably been almost 2 minutes since the flyover, given I was at Earlsfield for a minute and a half. So I hope there is one at Clapham, otherwise something's wrong. So we come along, it's really lagging as we come through this this cutting, but there are now, you can see there's quite a bit of scenery around us, so there is a lot for it to load in. I'm about to hit the speed limit. Let's just ease off on that. Actually, I do need to be very close to the speed limit or I'm not going to be able to arrive on time. Although my ETA is getting earlier, so I'm pulling it ahead at this speed. It's only 2 seconds ahead though, I'm not going to manage to make it. Stopping in time, I don't reckon. We'll see. Oh, there we go. It's expecting me to be braking at this point, so the ETA is rapidly pulling forward, as I'm not braking, but I know I can brake faster than the game would. So it does this a lot with its timings when you create a scenario, of stating that I don't have long enough to make it between two stations, when I'm just following a real life timetable, and then can easily make it between the stations in that time in game. I just drive closer to the speed limit and brake a bit more rapidly than the game would choose to. Yeah, this scenario must have been really low on the AI front for other companies, because Clapham Junction is very empty. All the AI is just broken, which does happen sometimes in Train Sim. All the AI just disappears when the game runs out of extra processor power. Then there's one. That's the next southbound suburban service that I've been complaining about not seeing. I just passed the 4-car mark, but that's fine. Stop and open the doors, and let's go and have a look around the station. What's going on? Oh, there is a southern train the other side of it, but I couldn't see it. Where are you going? Southampton. Yeah, this is one of the ones I'm talking about. Southampton will not be operated by a 3-car, but Variety. It was probably not the first one I put in, so it's not the most accurate. I can't believe there's nothing at the Windsor lines. There's a southbound fast train coming through, which means we've got 3 adjacent southbound trains, but nothing on the Windsor lines. That's impressive. Oh well, I'm sure we'll see something over there later. I don't know, when I was doing this I didn't have the right trains for it. A lot of them aren't operated by 455s. They're operated by 458s or 707s. I still don't have the 458. I've just used 450s as placeholders for them because they look practically the same. I made a custom consist 5-car 450. It's the right colour. Looks slightly different at the front, but that's fine. Off we go again. Next station, Vauxhall. And then we'll have our slow approach into London. As the game slowly lags more and more. accelerating. 49. 50. Almost hit 60. Got to be careful not to go above 60. Here's another suburban train. So they're all clumped up. So this is what I mean. Oh, there's another southern train over there as well. What you can normally do with parallel moves. In real life, you could do a lot of parallel moves in and out of the suburban platforms at Waterloo. The game doesn't. And then, on top of that, in real life, you'd have alternating one in, one out, one in, one out on the suburban platforms. The game will route as many in as possible until all the platforms are full, and then route out. If it's already set a route in one direction, it tries to set the route in that direction again before it tries in the other direction. So it will route 4 trains in, then 4 trains out. So that's why we end up in a queue, and all the trains passing me heading south are all in the same bunch. It's because they've all left late, bunched together. It doesn't happen quite as badly on the main line, although that might be partly because there's just a couple less services on the main line, and there's more platforms available, and the junction's a bit better designed. So that's the other problem with the suburban lines, is there's predominantly 4 platforms available, platforms 1 to 4. They can also use 5, 6 and possibly 7, but mainly they use 1 to 4. The main line has 7 through 15 in effect, although it uses 14 and 15 on a less frequent basis. So here we go, a third suburban service. They're really clumped together, aren't they? At this point between Vauxhall and Clapham Junction, we know they're far enough apart they won't get stuck behind each other at Clapham, because they already had that at Vauxhall. There we go, there's a Windsor line over there. I've put it in as a 455, even though it was probably a 707. Oh, AWS. I'd look at where it's going, but it's going to be a nightmare to actually tell. Let's look at the rear destination. Empty to depot for cleaning, fair enough. It's an ECS move. Oh, I need to slow down, that's what the AWS was for. I just assumed it was a yellow, knowing I was approaching reds. I know I'll be able to enter Vauxhall, but I know there's a red after Vauxhall. And as I said, this signal is yellow. I just kind of forgot there was a 40 as well that it would be warning before. Yeah, we've got a yellow, so the next one's one at the end of the platform, currently red. Will probably be yellow when I actually leave Vauxhall, because I have the dwell time first of, looks like I'm 45 seconds early. None of the AI trains using their headlights. I guess it is the middle of the day. There's another suburban train heading south. There's another Windsor train heading south. And obviously just past the mainline train heading south. All these southbound trains you pass heading into Waterloo. Here we go. Hit the AWS again because the signal at the end of the platform is still red. The forecast stop is actually right down the end by the looks of it. Oh no, there's a... There it is. It's a bit difficult to see because it's all the way over on the lamppost. Yeah, I'll be able to manage that. It'd be even better if my train had gone into notch 2, not full service. It's just... Oh, actually, I stopped post early. Oh well. There goes the southbound service, and the Windsor train's already left, the 8 car. Actually, that looks like a 10 car. That'll be a 458 placeholder. This is Vauxhall bus station down here. Vauxhall Bridge. Then underneath somewhere is Vauxhall Underground Station. Probably in there. We should be able to see... Is that? I believe that's Westminster and Big Ben, and then that's the London Eye over there. Got to wait a bit of time for the passengers to get on and off, and even if we were departing, we wouldn't be because the signal is red. So Doesn't make much of a difference, all things considered. That looks like it's far enough over to be another Windsor Line train. Looks like I've put it as a 12-car 450. Who knows what it's meant to be, where it's going. Shall I go have a look? I've got a bit of time. Look at see what its destination board says. London Waterloo. Oh, you're going around the Hounslow Loop. Probably wouldn't be a 450. Fair enough. I did have limited trains. When I made this scenario, I was only using what came with the route, so the 450, 444, 455, and the AI only 377. You only need to buy the route to be able to play the scenario. Don't need anything extra. There was a particular danger that I forgot about. Of course there was. Well, all that talk of having to remember I had to chase Reds into Waterloo, and I still failed and didn't actually get to Waterloo, but oh well. So much for that. So, thanks for watching, I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.